Today, I'm starting a journey of over 100 miles, 3 days, land, sea, and air, all within LA County to find its rarest cocktail. My trip started on the Catalina Express, which is a ferry that takes you on the 30-mile trip from the mainland to Catalina Island. It takes about 1 hour in good conditions. Now, if you don't believe me that Catalina is in LA County, well, it's right there in the Thomas Guide, so I don't know what to tell you. I had to hit the head, which is nautical talk, for bathroom. You can also take jet skis to the island. It takes about 4 hours. It sounds like a nightmare to me. And there it is. We're getting close. Look at how beautiful it is. Here I am arriving in the city of Avalon, which is the largest town on the island of Santa Catalina with about 3,500 year-round residents. This tourist map from the 40s shows you all the different activities you can do on the island. A lot of them are still there today. Of course, my drink isn't here in Avalon. That wouldn't be rare enough. I'll be traveling to the other side of the island, to a village called Two Harbors, to get my buffalo milk, but that'll be tomorrow. Avalon is a tourist town, but it's not tacky, it's really nice. A lot of the shops and restaurants are on the seafront street Crescent Ave, which is partially closed to vehicles. And they love their history. It's all over the island, like this plaque dedicated to a prior resident who, by the looks of it, rode a tuna when she was a baby. Alright, time for some real history. The island was developed as far back as 10,000 years ago with the Tongva, who built soapstone mines on the island and had a great religious and historic center on the isthmus that's now known as Two Harbors. Real estate developers attempted to make it a tourist destination around the turn of the century, building the first hotel and launching a steam ferry. It didn't become the attraction that we know it as today until William Wrigley Jr., the chewing gum guy, bought controlling stake of the island in 1919. Back then there was water skiing, which they called aquaplaning, what looks like a funicular railway, which unfortunately, like so many of our funiculars, is no longer there. They had glass-bottom boats, a celebrity seal named Old Ben, who's kind of like the turn-of-the-century Moodang. Al Jolson wrote a couple popular songs about the island too. We're listening to one right now. And it's been a popular destination for Los Angelinos ever since. The hotel that I stayed at was cute and old-timey. It's right by the ocean. They had these blown up postcards on the walls. And here's my room. You can look out the window. It kind of looks like the mainland, kind of looks like Hollywood. It has the old stall shower and the pedestal sink. Headed into town to get something to eat. They say they limit the amount of cars that are on the island, but there was still kind of a lot of cars. I saw a place that sold hot dogs, so you know I had to stop by. They have these nice hand-painted tiles. There's a lot of painted tile around the island. Wrigley started a ceramics factory to keep people employed during the off-season and take advantage of the local clay. It's not in operation anymore. Chili cheese fries. Chili, cheesy, crazy salty, 5 out of 5. Look at how beautiful that water is. And that orange thing down there, well, that's our first official critter sighting. This little beauty is the Garibaldi, which is the California state fish. There are a number of animals that are endemic to the island: harbor seals, feral cats, Catalina ground squirrels, the Catalina fox, and of course, bison. Legend has it they were brought to the island as set dressing for a western that they shot called The Vanishing American, based on a Zane Grey novel. He spent a lot of time on the island and wrote some books that took place there. I watched the movie. There were no bison in it. I think it's more likely that the bison were brought here for ranching. They also used to offer wagon rides as an attraction, so maybe that was part of it too. Wow, what a beautiful day on Catalina Island. It's funny, I can see the mainland out in the distance, like how when I'm on the mainland, I can see Catalina. It's fun being on the other side. I'm walking out to Lover's Cove. With any luck, I might get a smooch from a sea lion. Wow, look at the vibrant Pacific kelp forest ecosystem. I think people don't like it because it's squishy when you step through it, but you know, so are a bunch of wet leaves on land, and people like land forests. Water's so clear, you can see all that different foliage. Swishing and rocking.
Sometimes you really just gotta connect, you know, touch seagrass. Be offline, just be in the moment, no phones, just you, the ocean, and your phone to vlog. It's really relaxing. It's like nature's own ASMR.
Alright, we got another critter. Throw it on the board. A popular activity in Avalon is renting one of these golf carts. Allegedly, the wait list to bring a car into Avalon is like 20 years, so you'll see a lot of people getting around in these gas-powered carts.
You can really tell why they call it the American Riviera. It's kind of nice.
And this is the Catalina Casino. It was built in 1928. Before that, there was the Sugarloaf Casino, named after that big rock on the point. But Wrigley found that it was too small, so they blew up the Sugarloaf Rock and built this one. It's got a big ballroom on the top floor with a theater down below. There was never any gambling. It was just an entertainment venue that hosted big acts at the time. There's felt under the floorboards to make it a nicer surface to dance on. I don't know if that's common. The exterior is a Moorish style with Art Deco details. And that is just beautiful. Look at those details, those scrolls, that Art Deco pendant light, that mosaic, the beautiful colors, and this little baddie. I don't know what exists of the nightlife today on the island, but the day life was pretty fun. Lots of shops and places to get drinks. They have a museum on the island, so I stopped in to kind of learn more about the history. There's the guy, Wrigley Jr. himself. Here's a model of the SS Catalina, which was that steamer that originally brought people to the island. Some cool older artifacts. They've got some flutes, some sculptures, lots of beautiful jewelry. These fish hooks that I think are made out of abalone. Some old stuff from like the 20s, 30s, 40s, these golfing people. We don't have presidential cigarettes anymore, and I think that says something about society. People don't wear cute little hats anymore. That says something about society. I saw they had a public library, so you know I had to stop by. And it's just like a cute, small LA County library. They have printers, computers to use. They even loan out these laptops, which I think is cool. Got your regular stuff, mysteries, travel books, but they also have this Catalina collection, which I think is cool. They have some Zane Grey books and some smaller publications that are more specific to the island's history, some scientific publications. This is a thesis that someone wrote in the 30s where they just cataloged a bunch of these little things they saw in the ocean under a microscope.
Just a little library, just like a full-on small LA County library that has a lot of the resources that you would expect. I was talking to the librarian because I was curious, how do they get the books here when people put them on hold? And he told me that they come via USPS plane almost every day, that the county puts aside a little bit of money to pay the normal postage rates to bring the books over, where they get brought to the post office and distributed from there. I guess the island doesn't have daily postal delivery. Everyone just has to go to the post office to pick up their own mail.
And here's dinner. Went to the Blue Water Grill, got a piece of local swordfish for $38. It was honestly whatever, but the location, that's a 5 out of 5 experience. And that was the day. Called it an early night because the next morning I'd be starting on the next leg of my journey in my quest for LA's rarest drink. It's about a 1-hour trip from Avalon to Two Harbors on boat if you stick near the coast. During the summer, they have this thing called the Cyclone, which is like a big powerboat that'll take a bunch of people between the two towns. Since it was the off season, I had to just hire a private boat. And it was quite a trip. This thick fog had rolled in and it was really like primeval. But as we got closer to Two Harbors, the fog started to lift a little bit. We could see the coastline. And hey, if you're enjoying this video, give it a like. And if you want to see more videos where I explore LA places, food, and history, make sure to subscribe and consider signing up for post notifications if you want to make sure you see them. If you have any places that you want me to check out, please drop them in the comments. And it was a perfect, beautiful day as we arrived in Two Harbors. Harbor Patrol had a boat dog, so I'm putting that on the critter count. After a smooth trip, I have arrived at Two Harbors. There is not much of a town here, and as such, I will be camping. And that is my site right there on the water. Can you believe it? I saw something scurrying to the bushes right when I arrived, so I went in for a closer look, and sure enough, that is a Catalina fox. Taking a little snooze in the sun. I was far away though, because I respect wildlife. And then he just loped away. Now look at this campsite. Could you ask for anything nicer? It's wild these emerald clear waters exist right here in LA. The fox kept coming back, kind of sniffing around our food box. Frankly, overstayed his welcome, if I'm being honest. I mean, leave him wanting more. This is LA after all. It's showbiz, babe. Now, it's called Two Harbors because it is on an isthmus on a very thin part of the island. So you can walk from the one harbor that faces the mainland to the other harbor that faces out into the mighty Pacific. And that is what I did.
It looks kind of arid and like boring out here. It reminds me of like the Conejo Valley, except obviously, there's the water up there. But it's not boring. It's like really beautiful, and it's frankly unlike any place I've ever been before. I've been walking towards this little bay on the Pacific side of Two Harbors. The second harbor, like low-key ass magical. So the plan is hike to the Pacific side of the island, we climb up a hill, watch the sunset, starting to get dusty, and a little dark, walk around, and then of course get that world-famous cocktail to close out the night.
Now, I didn't catch it on camera, but I did see a flying fish in this harbor. I swear I did. It's going on the counter. I walked up the hill a little bit to catch a nice view for the sunset. And something kind of crazy happened on the walk back, but we'll get into that after this. The long-awaited buffalo milk.
Wow, we made it. I frankly didn't know if we were going to. What a journey it was across the sea, almost 100 miles, saw foxes, tried some really good food, and frankly had a blast. But here I am with the iconic buffalo milk at the Harbor Reef restaurant in Two Harbors on Catalina Island. What is the buffalo milk? Well, I got the menu right here. It says it's vodka, creme de cacao, creme de banana, coffee liqueur, and milk topped with whipped cream and a dusting of nutmeg. And it looks delicious. It smells great, almost holiday-y, but I guess it's the fresh nutmeg on top. Here's the thing they don't tell you about the buffalo milk is you gotta milk the buffalo yourself. No, I'm just kidding. But I walked across the isthmus to the other harbor. On the way back, I was walking down the road, a very wide road, and I saw something dark. I couldn't really make it out, but it looked like the black silhouette of like a big person wearing all black. I was walking a little funny, and it wasn't until it turned to go off the road down into the culvert, into the field, that I saw that 2/3 profile of what looked like a bison, like right in front of us. And I thought, it kind of disappeared in the brush. I was like, am I imagining things? Did I see a shadow and just like assume I saw a buffalo because I saw signs about bison and I wanted to see a bison? So I went to the edge of the road, and it was, once I looked over the bush, it was there. It was like 4 feet away from me, and it didn't want me there. It kind of gave like a little pump fake for me to get away, and I did. I frankly didn't want to be that close to the bison, but I was, and it was really a once-in-a-lifetime experience. I would have caught it on camera, but I didn't want to be the person who like was in selfie mode and then got gored to death. And also it was really dark, so I don't think it would have come out. Anyway, I went through all of that, and here I am with the buffalo milk in my hand, and it's about to be the buffalo milk in my gullet. Okay. Very chocolatey, and it all goes together. It's icy. I thought it was going to be thick. Not a fan of a thick cocktail, but it's not. It's thin. It's cold, and it's a lot more refreshing than you'd think like a dairy-based cocktail would be. Hell yeah. So after all that, here's the decision. The buffalo milk, it's a 5 out of 5. It's fantastic. I wouldn't order a dairy-based cocktail myself, especially since I'm lactose intolerant and I'm camping tonight, but I did it And I'm glad that I did. It's delicious, and it might have me reconsidering dairy-based cocktails in the future. Okay, maybe I will, but this one was definitely great, and after that whole journey, it was quite a treat.
And so there was nothing left to do but crawl into my sleeping bag and get a good night's sleep. Or so I thought. These seals, all night, were so loud. Imagine trying to sleep through this. Anyway, the sun rose on another perfect day in Los Angeles. How is this not the greatest city in the world? Actually, I don't want to compare. There's a lot of great cities, but this was pretty nice. So I packed up my tent, hopped on the Catalina Express with a new tan on my skin, buffaloes dancing in my mind, and the taste of milk on my lips. What a perfect trip. And on the way out, we caught a glimpse of those seals that were keeping me up all night. And to close it out, throw another one on the critter counter.